failed state.
Yep.
If I'm available,
Oh yeah.
not dead, not senile, but I'm still around, and I have some knowledge. If you are really serious about your country, why would you not want to take advantage of me?
You're not. The knowledge you have is not a reserve of yours only.
Why am I beginning to play football with my grandchildren and I stop them from scoring because I must be appearing to be the best scorer?
Yeah.
Let's ask ourselves those questions.
Exactly.
But the most painful part, I've not seen anybody coming out in the government to apologize for the unfortunate shooting of these Ugandans.
Museveni will never apologize. He will never apologize. Zero. He's a sociopath.
It is really painful. And something must be done about it. It's as if the armed forces are trying to kill your own people.
Well, welcome to Mohozi. I've killed 22. I feel like I need to kill the 23rd. Rijema killed a few people. I want to kill more than Rijema. He believes that vice signaling is a badge of honor. When he talks about I've tortured Eddie Mutwe, here's the proof. I've taken his pictures of himself naked. Look at what I've done to Bobby Wine's wife. To him, these are vibes. And yes, indeed, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might watch this conversation. My name is Mordecai Muliika. Once again, you're welcome to Mordecai Muliika Live. Ladies and gentlemen, just like you've seen in those some of those clips I played you, former Katikkiro of Buganda, Dan Muliika, is describing Uganda for what it is, a failed state. According to former Katikkiro of Buganda, Dan Muliika. We're going to be listening to what he said, but before I do that, I know I have some of Museveni sympathizers who are going to jump onto this and be like, do you know what a failed state is? Of course, I know. And I'll show you here characteristics of a failed state or failed states. Okay, weak governance institutions, weak capacity or political will to govern, or both. Now, tell me if we have a few deluded Ugandans who are going to come out and convince me that, we have strong governance institutions. All of them have been captured by the Museveni criminal regime. And then two, low levels of service delivery, poor health, education, and sanitation systems. I don't think I even have to explain that. Then minimal legitimacy, absolutely. Minimal legitimacy. I mean, you have Museveni who declared himself winner of the 2026 elections with 71%. But up to now, you have not seen people celebrate. He continues to, keep his political opponents in terror and fear. He's forced his number one political opponent, Bobby Wine, to go on a run. And then you have Dr. Kanu Chiza Besigye in prison over trumped-up charges. Then you have a large accountability gap, lack of democratic mechanisms for checks and balances. Welcome to Uganda. Then you have policy tensions, between trade, aid, humanitarian development, security, and drug policies. Then high volatility, continuously moving through cycles of decline and progress. That to me sounds like Uganda. Let me know what you think. But let's go on and listen to what the former Katikkiro of Buganda said. And in this commentary, I'll have to even play you more words from former minister and World War veteran Amanya Mushega had to say. We did a little bit of commentary about his show on NTV a few years ago. Now, I'm going to be playing you more of that. Watch here.
Failed state.
Yep.
Failed state. Muzungu yagiyita failed state. Government yakwa kubanga government ebana amasiga amakulu asatu.
Yep.
kibi nnyo okuwulira nga minisita omu ayogera kino omulala kiri omulala kino nga batatuula mu kabineti.
Isn't it funny? I've always said that, because he's referring to the contradicting messages from folks who serve within the Museveni regime. You have the commander of the defense forces saying, hey, we are hunting for Bobi Wine. We're going to hunt for him. We're going to capture him. We're going to kill him. And then you have Chris Baliomus, the Minister of Information, ICT and National Guidance saying, no, Bobi Wine is safe. We're not searching for him. No, there's no threat. And then you have the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kerry Odiem, who says he committed treason. Like you have all these three people contradicting each other. You have a government that says it's wrong to kill innocent people. And then you have Mohozi Kainerugaba who says, well, we killed 22 of Bobi Wine supporters and we want Bobi Wine to be the 23rd.
Oyinza n'okusanga omusirikale n'akusamba nti abaavu yalagidde. Abaavu yali mu Uganda. Mwali mumulonzi. Akakiiko konna kagenda ne kabanga k'oyo ali mu buyinza. Mpaka kati bwe mumanyi byamukama tayinza kuwa mulala kuyitamu okuggyako Museveni. Kakati n'amugamba nti bibiri byakusatu ebya paalamenti okakasenga mbifunye. Era bw'akola ekimu ekyokusatu kirekeewo be tujja okuyita aba opposition. Wakati ebibiri byokusatu akigamba lwatu zaali naye yatugamba byonna bwe byebaka eri mu nnyumba eziteesezebwamu ne bafuluuta kasaba kuba akadeko okukuba akalulu n'okusubanga bwe bakugambye ekyankuwanze ba mu State House.
It's so sad. It is really sad. Now, I'll show you. This is not a lie. Let me show you where Museveni said that it doesn't really matter. He said one dormant, sleeping member of parliament that belongs to the NRM is better than a bunch of reasonable, sane, coherent, cogent, and cohesive member of parliament from the opposition. Watch here. Don't take my word for it.
The NRM MP was sick and sleeping.
Waire MP waire omubaka wa NRM nga mulwaire obanga ali kutenduka.
Is still better than an active opposition MP. Sawa yakalulu bwetuuka yokuwagira ebiteeso.
Esawa yakalulu olutuuka eti pa okuwagira ebiteeso.
N'omuzukusa.
N'omukoboti muna situka.
Bas.
Nga alonde NRM.
Imagine that. This is a president saying that, I don't care about meritocracy or competence as long as you are NRM. I want you to be partisan to the core. Don't talk about patriotism. Don't talk about service delivery. You're working for your people, your constituents. No. As long as you're sleeping and if they wake you up and the only role you got to do is vote for NRM, you don't even have to read through these proposals or reports that are being voted on. You just have to vote for NRM. And Museveni, cognizant of the primitivity and ignorance of our people, this is deliberate. Museveni has kept these people in ignorance and primitivity. They clap. They chant his name when he tells them that I don't care who is in parliament representing you, as long as he votes on my agenda. He doesn't even have to question it. This is the president of a country. So this is a failed state. That's what he was referring to. Dan Muliika. Okay. Now I told you I was going to play you a few clips from the conversation of Amanya Mushega, used to be Minister of Education. He part ways with Museveni and started calling him out. And I want you to listen to what he says about competition and why the conversation of transition should be hard at this moment.
He has come up and is able to put up a formidable team. And ask yourself, how did it all this come to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Is it introspective? You have the inner self and say, why am I beginning to play football with my grandchildren and I stop them from scoring because I must be appearing to be the best scorer?
Yeah.
Must ask ourselves those questions.
Exactly. And I'll tell you why. Because Museveni believes that he's the only man who can fix the problems of Uganda. And I'll show you a clip here where he was interviewed by Sky News, I think during the election. And then says, as long as I am available. Look at him. As long as I'm available.
If I'm available,
Oh, yeah.
not dead, not senile, but I'm still around, and I have some knowledge. If you are really serious about your country, why would you not want to take advantage of me?
You're not, the knowledge you have is not a reserve of yours only. God forbid, suppose you died. Are you trying to say the country will cease to exist? Uganda was here before you had this knowledge you claim to have, which should be put into question, of course. Uganda is going to exist in your absence, in my absence, and in the absence of everyone interviewing you, those people interviewing you, everyone that's watching this conversation right now. As long as I am here and I have, what did he say? What was that phrasing? Talk about egotistical mindset.
If I'm available, not dead, not senile, but I'm still around, and I have some knowledge. If you are really serious about your country, why would you not want to take advantage of me?
Yeah, because we believe in something called maybe democracy, that it doesn't really matter whether you're available, whether you have all this vast knowledge that, we put you to a test and, people vote against that. You have the vast knowledge of you claim to have. And you organize an election where you cheated. He believes in this, he has this indispensable mind. The country cannot function without me. And he's been able to manipulate a few people around in his circle who say, Museveni. But look at the turmoil Uganda is living in. Poverty, unemployment, the lawlessness and impunity, the abduction, torturing and killing of innocent Ugandans, high levels of poverty. And then, if I'm available, I take advantage of me. Sad. Okay, let's go to Mushega.
You get me? It's good to retire. When I go to Bushenya, I meet these guys. I've had like 4 MPs who have been in my constituency after me. Some come to have a good chat, others fear movement. And that's when we meet, we share a cup of tea or other beverages. It's nice. It's nice to be able to pass on your knowledge to the younger generation, because cemeteries are not renowned for advising people. I don't know which one.
So the country is very polarized.
I don't know whether it's polarized or not, but we are not in the best of state. Because this violence which is going on, my brother, is not nice.
I'm told, understand there was a meeting held in your office back then, I think in the public service, where I think Dr. Besigye wanted to run for president, and somebody talked about him jumping the queue. Was that the moment perhaps when you missed an opportunity to have then, when a country missed an opportunity to have a smooth transition, maybe people would have taken him seriously and don't just try to say, look, it is not your time?
No, we mentioned that too. First of all, people fear talk to Besigye because he had run against President Museveni.
Imagine that. That was the time every person in the NRM had to really quit that party. How would people feel like, Besigye is committing a crime for running against Museveni? That only tells you how Museveni was opposed to the idea of having his agenda or even ideas questioned. Why would people be afraid?
People fear talk to Besigye because he had run against President.
People were even afraid of talking to Besigye because they, if Museveni sees me, talking to you.
To Museveni, which I found odd. He actually gave an interview to Wembo, and there was a headline in the Monitor saying, "Don't stand Besigye." And in that interview, he said, he has a right to stand. Remember when they say we should declare our friend the sole candidate? Let him run. He's bred, he had his own views. But we had a meeting because I wanted to show people that this man has not committed a crime to run. And some people said Mushega has given an interview, he's against us. Against who? I'm not against my country. I'm disagreeing with...
Did you catch that? Against who? I'm not against my country, because he believed that supporting or having an alternative idea from yours doesn't really make me your enemy. That actually makes our democracy, if we pride in this democracy, then if you allow me to have different opinions, then we can actually pride ourselves in the true sense of democracy. Oh, look at these people. They don't agree, but they're not enemies, and that's how we should be.
You does not mean I don't like you.
Exactly.
And disagreeing with you does not mean I don't like you.
That is not Museveni's DNA. Museveni's mindset is, if you oppose what I believe in, you're my enemy and I'm going to hunt you down. He's referred to his opposition in very, very nefarious terms, explaining to them as unserious, defining them as unserious, terrorists, enemies of the state. Because in his mind, you cannot oppose Museveni. A failure at leadership. But saying that would earn you torture at Nalufenya, torture at in Muhoozi's basement.
You get me? I hope you get me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to agree on everything, but we have to live together. But in Uganda, we have taken it to mean that if you run against a person and you don't agree, your ideas don't meet, therefore, you are permanent enemies. And it's a very dangerous approach to life.
When he said in Uganda, we have taken it, he's just calculatively refusing to mention Museveni's name. Nobody. Look, there's a bunch of NRM folks I know in Uganda. Some of them are my friends. I feel sad. I would want them to join my camp, but they're not my enemies. I'm trying to persuade them, sell them ideas that I believe in the opposition, but they're not my enemies. So there's only one person who looks at his opponents as enemies, and that is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Hold on to your point, Honorable Amanya Mushega.
Okay, they're going to a commercial break. Let's go here when he was talking about this is 5 years ago. Now let's go here when he was talking about the shootings in Uganda and what he had to say. Listen here. I think I saved it around here. Okay, yeah.
We meet some old friends, we meet others, and new ones. But you can't force people. But some people fear to be seen to discuss. But there are a lot of people you meet, and I can assure you, there are many people who talk about the future of this country. There are not many people who are comfortable that everything is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Joseph, shootings, all security forces are trained how to handle civil strifes. It is prohibited anywhere in the world. The bullet is the right thing you use on your own people.
Well, not according to Museveni. Not according to Museveni. You know what he said? If you demonstrate, our soldiers have guns and each gun carries 120 bullets. So to him...
But when you look at everything in military terms, the army are told to shoot. And to me, I think what pains me most is that you see people are even shot. To demonstrate is not a crime.
Mm-mm.
Especially when you think things are wrong. Young people always say things are wrong when even they are not there. It's part of we have all gone through it with the Museveni were together at university. Striking was not something uncommon. And whenever students in Makerere went on striking, including my good friend Mao, when the public really condemned them, but when you sit, you say, these boys had a point, but they went beyond the normal.
Well, Museveni doesn't believe in the idea of protest. Are you kidding me? If people are going to be afraid to deal with Besigye because Besigye is challenging Museveni, then what do you think Museveni is going to think about those people who are protesting his government? To him, these are enemies. He's a Machiavellian thinker. He believes that people should be, actually said, I was going to say, he believes that people should be crushed. He said it, we shall crush you. Every time he sees people demonstrating, they were rioting. He's only got one term for protest, is riot. That's how he usually wants to frame every person that opposes his agenda. So, when you say protesting at Makerere was a common thing, he doesn't believe. He betrayed everything he believed in. I don't know if we're going to have to make a song out of this. Go read the 1984 NRA 10-point program and tell me, what is he standing on? Democracy? Are you kidding me? Respect to human rights? Are you kidding me? End of sectarianism? What? Rule of law?
Young people are full of energy. And they have to find a way of exceeding it, but in an orderly manner. But the most painful part, I've not seen anybody coming out in the government to apologize for the unfortunate shooting of these Ugandans.
Museveni will never apologize. He will never apologize. Zero. He's a sociopath.
It is really painful. And something must be done about it. It's as if the armed forces are trying to kill your own people. And the moment the person is taught how to kill people, they don't know. You don't know when they will stop. I remember when the Bush...
Well, welcome to Muhozi. I've killed 22. I feel like I need to kill the 23rd. Rijema killed a few people. I want to kill more than Rijema. He believes that vice signaling is a badge of honor. When he talks about, I've tortured Eddie Mutwe, here's the proof. I've taken his pictures of himself naked. Look at what I've done to Bobby Wine's wife. To him, these are vibes. This is aura. See me, how bad I am. It's so good. My name is Muhozi. See, the likes of Amanya Mushega are trying to apply logic and reason to folks who seem to be paid to contest, to stand against logic and reason. Muhozi or Museveni doesn't think that, and I want to believe that some of these people actually still have some sort of a nostalgic perception about Museveni. They think that probably Museveni still is that guy who convinced them to fight in the 1980s. He's not that. He doesn't believe anything that has to do with respecting a person who opposes him.
Museveni and other leaders always condemned assassination as a method of solving issues. Because the person who is called to kill sometimes has to be killed in order to make things calm. And it can be...
The cycle will not end.
It's a bad culture to say that anybody who opposes you must be shot.
Well, not a bad culture going into Muhozi Kainerugaba.
And sometimes I wonder whether these people are policemen or people dressed in the police uniform.
Are you asking Muhozi Kainerugaba? That's what we've been wondering. A student of Sandhurst Military Academy, Royal. I think he went to Sandhurst. He came to the USA. He should be an embodiment of what they call a professionalized military guy. But look at what he does. So if you...
that those who came to attack when you see now, you see people, the police walking, they are not no strike yet. One time they're having a gun, another time carrying a stick. We are not, to hard Ugandans is not correct. It's actually painful. My worry is these people, young people who are brutalizing, I don't know why their brutality will end.
Well, welcome to Chris Magezi, the acting spokesperson of the Uganda People's Defense Force, who said, many people are complaining about being assaulted with sticks. Actually, that is not as painful as other options. It is painful to you because there's still a characteristic called empathy in you when we talk about human values. There's still empathy and kindness in you. You still think about another person. These people don't believe that. They live in a different world where the more they show cruelty is actually the point. How cruel they are. They want you to see. It is a show of force. Let me show you how tough I am. Now, you're trying to apply logic. These are liberal democratic ideas. You're applying these liberal democrat ideas to a tyrant, a dictator, a man who lives in a pluralistic dictatorship. Everything. Oh my God. So, I mean, every time I watch this conversation, I look at a man who is disappointed. A man who was betrayed by Museveni and his henchmen. That's why he quit. Everyone that was reasonable, that still had values, had to quit the NRA criminal regime. So that's why they look disappointed. Because they were betrayed. Sad. Anyways, it is a complete failed state. Let no one convince you otherwise. Let me know what you think. Am I being too tough? Am I reading too much into what they're saying? Where am I wrong? It's very easy to convince myself that I'm all right, yet I am not. So let me know down in the comment section. My name is Muliika. See you another time. Bye-bye for now.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.